Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to attend the SCO Council of Foreign Ministers meet in China's Tianjin, also to hold bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the CFM. After 18 days of intense science experiments at the International Space Station, Axiom-4 to depart from space splashed down on Earth on Tuesday. Trump says United States will send Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine to meet NATO chief amid plans to send Ukraine weapons through alliance. In sports, Jannik creates history, becomes the first Italian to win Wimbledon singles title, beats world number 2 Carlos Alcaraz at the grass court in London. And Cole Palmer scores 2 goals as Chelsea stuns favourites Paris Saint-Germain in the final of the Club World Cup, beat European champions 3-0. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will visit China today, where he will participate in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Council of Foreign Ministers meeting to be held in Tianjin on Tuesday. The ministers will exchange views on the SCO cooperation in various fields and also major international and regional issues. The SCO comprises of 10 member states: China, Russia, India, Iran, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan and Belarus. External Affairs Minister will also hold bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the CFM. Earlier, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar visited Singapore, where he called on the Deputy Prime Minister of Singapore, Gan Kim Yong, on Sunday evening. The External Affairs Minister expressed his happiness at the steady progress in various bilateral initiatives. Dr. S. Jaishankar looked forward to the 3rd India-Singapore Ministerial Round, or ISMR. Dr. S. Jaishankar met his Singaporean counterpart, Vivian Balakrishnan, and exchanged views on several key issues. Dr. S. Jaishankar also met Chairman-designate of Temasek Holdings, Teo Chi Yen. Both discussed the transformation underway in India and its investment opportunities. India's Chemicals and Fertilizers Minister J.P. Nadda on Sunday concluded his Saudi Arabia visit. Significantly, the long-term agreements were signed between Saudi Arabian mining company Madden and Indian companies to enhance the supply of diammonium phosphate fertilizer to 3.1 million MT from financial year 2025-26 onwards. A joint team has also been set up to explore long-term collaboration in the sector. Also, bilateral meetings were held to enhance cooperation in the medical sector, health services, pharmaceuticals, digital health solutions and knowledge exchange. The visit secured important commitments for the long-term supply of fertilizers from Saudi Arabia to India. And the AX-4 crew, which launched on June 25th from NASA's Kennedy Space Center, concluded their mission aboard the International Space Station after completing over 250 orbits of Earth and traveling more than 6 million miles. A special farewell ceremony took place at 7:25 p.m. IST, marking a historic moment as Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, India's first astronaut on the International Space Station, bid farewell to space.
These missions have much far-reaching implications beyond science, and that is what I believe that this mission would also do in all of our respective countries as well. Going back from here, I carry with me a lot of memories and the learnings out of this mission that I would try and spread back. But the one thing that really sticks to me is what humanity is capable of when all of us come together from different parts of the world and work for a common goal or a common objective. It is truly incredible.
Shukla, along with fellow crew members, Commander Peggy Whitson of USA, Mission Specialist Sawan Wisniewski of Poland, and Tibor Kapu of Hungary, joined NASA's Expedition 73 crew for the ceremony. He added that 41 years back, an Indian went into the space and told us what our country looked like from up there, and people wanted to know what India looks like today.
आज का भारत स्पेस से महत्वाकांक्षी दिखता है। आज का भारत निडर दिखता है। आज का भारत कॉन्फिडेंट दिखता है। आज का भारत गर्व से पूर्ण दिखता है। और इन्हीं सब कारणों की वजह से मैं एक बार फिर से कह सकता हूँ कि आज का भारत अभी भी सारे जहाँ से अच्छा दिखता है।
The national finale of DD Robocon India 2025 wrapped up in Delhi on Sunday. This year's theme was basketball, where student teams were challenged to design robots that could play the game. And in a thrilling showdown, GTU Robotics triumphed over Nirma Robocon to clinch the title.
The two-day DD Robocon India 2025 concluded in Delhi on Sunday. The event was jointly organized by Prasar Bharati, India's national broadcaster, and IIT Delhi. This year's theme was basketball, challenging participants to design robots capable of playing the sport. DD Robocon serves as the national stage for the prestigious Asia-Pacific Robot Competition. This year, GTU Robotics clinched the title, defeating Nirma Robocon in a thrilling final.
Ingredients of industrial scenario is here, including the team spirit, where mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, computer science engineering people would come together, make the robot. So we call that it is an industry ready.
Out of 72 teams from across India, 40 were shortlisted for the final event. With their victory, GTU Robotics will now represent India at the International Robocon 2025 to be held in Mongolia.
We had started this program before 1 year. So first of all, we have to train the new student. We have to teach them how to make the robots. Then they will come together and make robot. There are many challenges. In particular this theme, we got challenges of dribbling the ball, shooting the ball, jumping, dunking ball, passing the ball. So there are many challenges.
The competition plays a vital role in nurturing engineering talent across the country. It offers students a national platform to showcase their technical expertise and creative thinking and prepares them to be industry-ready professionals.
DD Robocon continues to be a cornerstone event in India's technical education landscape, offering a rare blend of creativity, competitiveness, and collaboration. For the participating students, it's not just about building robots, it's about building confidence, competence, and a vision for the future.
Sawan or Shravan is a holy month in the Hindu calendar where people worship Lord Shiva and Ma Parvati during this month to get their blessings and for the removal of their problems. And the most important of all are Mondays, with today being the first one of all, setting the tone for a month filled with devotion, fasting, prayer and rituals. In Delhi, Lord Shiva devotees are observing fast with a belief to be blessed with good health, relationship and for spiritual evolution. Huge crowd of devotees is visiting Gauri Shankar temple to offer prayers to Lord Shiva. In Uttar Pradesh's Ayodhya, devotees offered prayers at Shreshwar Nath temple on the first month of the Sawan month. Also in Uttar Pradesh, Sangam city of Prayagraj is also decked up for the occasion. Huge crowd of devotees visited Mankameshwar temple to offer prayers today. In Madhya Pradesh, Bhasma Aarti was performed at Ujjain's Mahakaleshwar temple on the first Monday of Sawan. During the prayers, Lord Shiva's idol is bathed in sacred ash or bhasma. It symbolizes the transcendence of life and death. Devotees consider it a powerful spiritual experience, seeking blessings and purification. The annual Sri Amarnath Yatra continues in full swing. The 12th batch of the devotees departed from Nunwan Base Camp in Pahalgam for their pilgrimage to the holy cave shrine of Amarnath Ji on Monday morning. The 38-day annual Amarnath pilgrimage to the 3,880 meters high holy cave shrine in South Kashmir began on July 3rd and will conclude on August 9th. As part of this year's enhanced security framework, over 8,500 troops have been deployed, supported by a wide array of technological and operational resources. Meanwhile, free langar or community kitchen services continue to support pilgrims en route, especially at the Jammu base camp and several locations along the national highway. Amarnath Yatra is an annual pilgrimage to the Amarnath cave, where devotees pay homage to Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. Flood-like situation has been reported in many districts of India's Madhya Pradesh due to heavy rains. As a result of various other weather systems in different areas, the state has experienced continuous and sporadic rainfall over the past 3 days. Apart from this, the water level of Betwa River in Vidisha district is also continuously increasing. In Chhatarpur too, life has been affected due to waterlogging in settlements. According to the Met Department, there is a possibility of very heavy rainfall at some places in the districts of Gwalior, Chambal, Ujjain, Bhopal division on Monday, Tuesday. Light to moderate rainfall is expected in the remaining areas, and scientist Abhijit Chakrabarti of the Met Center said that the monsoon trough is currently going to the Bay of Bengal via Bikaner, Gwalior, Banda, Sidhi, Jamshedpur and Digha. Parts of national capital Delhi were hit by short but intense spells of rain on Sunday evening, following dark grey clouds and gusty winds of over 50 kilometers per hour. The Met Department has also forecast light to moderate showers in the city on Monday and patchy rain from Tuesday till Saturday. According to the IMD, Delhi and NCR recorded rain due to the combination of three factors: presence of monsoon trough, which was south of Delhi, impact of an active western disturbance, and low pressure area over northwest Madhya Pradesh with associated cyclonic circulation extending up to the upper tropospheric levels. Reaffirming India's commitment to strengthen regional maritime connectivity and cooperation across the Bay of Bengal initiative for multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation region, Visakhapatnam Port Authority is going to host the second BIMSTEC Ports Conclave at Novotel on Monday. The second edition of the BIMSTEC Ports Conclave aims to boost intra-regional trade, connectivity and maritime technologies by sharing best practices among the member countries. Focusing on the theme Navigating the Future, Blue Economy, Innovation and Sustainable Partnerships, the two-day conclave will bring together ministerial delegations, port authorities, maritime experts and business leaders from BIMSTEC member countries such as Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka and Thailand onto one platform. BIMSTEC plays a pivotal role in creating a prosperous, secure and resilient Indo-Pacific in line with India's Act East policy, Neighborhood First and Sagar, that is security and growth for all in the region vision. Bharat Utsav, a festival celebrating India's rich cultural heritage, was celebrated in Moscow with full fervor. Moscow's iconic Menezhnia Square turned into a vibrant celebration of Indian culture, where the festival enthralled the audience with its rich blend of dance, music, art and spirituality. Let's get to these lovely visuals. With that, we head for a short break. You're watching the Indian News Hour, but after the break, Trump and the First Lady to make a historic second state visit to UK in September. A small plane crash reported at London Southend Airport. Emergency services and investigation into the accident continue. UK government announces the $675 million The Better Futures Fund, aiming to support deprived children with better education and a safe home over the next 10 years. Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's get to international updates. US President Donald Trump said on Sunday that US will send Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine to help it fight off Russian attacks amid a soaring of his ties and relations with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump did not specify how many weapons systems the US would provide, but told reporters that it had not been agreed upon yet. Trump stressed that the United States would not pay for them as he heaped fresh criticism on Russian President Putin. The move comes just 2 weeks after Washington said it would pause some arms deliveries to Kyiv. Trump also said that he has plans to meet NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte to discuss Ukraine and other issues this week.
Well, I'm going to have a meeting with the Secretary General. It's coming in tomorrow. But we basically are going to send them various pieces of very sophisticated military, and they're going to pay us 100% for them. And that's the way we want it. And we've been trying to get that again. Biden, I don't think Biden ever asked for it. Putin really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice and then he bombs everybody in the evening. But there's a little bit of a problem there. I don't like it.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has asked for more defensive capabilities to fend off a daily barrage of missile and drone attacks from Russia. President Trump also said that he hoped talks for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas will be straightened out this week. The U.S. is backing a 60-day ceasefire with a phased release of hostages, Israeli troops' withdrawals from parts of Gaza, and the talks to end the conflict.
Gaza, we are talking, and hopefully we're going to get that straightened out over the next week. Let's see what happens.
U.S. President Donald Trump is set to make a historic second state visit to the U.K. in September, following a formal invitation from King Charles III. The King extended the invitation through a letter delivered by U.K. Prime Minister Keir Starmer during a visit to the Oval Office in February. Trump is set to make his state visit to the U.K. in September and will be accompanied by his wife, First Lady Melania, on a two-day trip from September 17 to 19. Trump relished his last visit to Britain in 2019 when Queen Elizabeth II hosted him. The Queen threw him a lavish banquet at the Buckingham Palace and gave him a Royal Artillery salute. The United States military teamed with Panamanian police to conduct a series of new exercises aimed at protecting the Panama Canal, amid the tensions over alleged Chinese influence along the prized trade route. Panama's National Aero-Naval Service officials said the exercises would prepare Panama's forces as well as countries in the region against any threats to the security and defense of the canal. U.S. soldiers conducted similar exercises in Panama a month ago under a bilateral agreement that allows Washington to use Panamanian air and naval bases for training without establishing its own bases. U.S. President Donald Trump repeatedly claimed that China has too much influence over the canal, which handles about 40% of the U.S. container traffic and 5% of the world trade. Officials said that U.S. maneuvers will last until Friday and will respect national sovereignty. In Kentucky, a gunman fatally shot two women at a church in Lexington and injured a state trooper outside an airport on Sunday before police were able to fatally shoot him. Police are out in the force in the area after the accident. Lexington Police Chief Lawrence Weathers confirmed that the woman was shot and killed at Richmond Road Baptist Church in Lexington, where the two men were also injured, and that included one in critical condition. Authorities have not disclosed the suspect's identity. The suspect opened fire on a state trooper after being pulled over near Bluegrass Airport in Fayette County. The shooting occurred on a road near the airport, which was not linked to its operations. The suspect then carjacked a vehicle and fled to Richmond Road Baptist Church, where the individual began firing at people on the church grounds.
On July 13, 2025, around 11:36 a.m., Lexington police officers were dispatched for a shooting involving a Kentucky State Trooper on Terminal Drive. The trooper had pulled over a vehicle on Terminal Drive after receiving a license plate reader alert in the area of Versailles Road. The trooper was shot and the suspect fled. A short time later, the suspect carjacked a vehicle in the 3700 block of Bellawood Drive before fleeing the area. No injuries were reported during that carjacking.
Russia and China's foreign ministers on Sunday discussed their relations with the United States and the prospects of ending the Ukraine conflict. Russian President Vladimir Putin's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov met Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Beijing on Sunday on the sidelines of the SCO summit. In a statement, Russia's foreign ministry said that the importance of strengthening close coordination between the two countries in the international arena, including in the United Nations and its Security Council, the SCO, BRICS and the G20 and APEC, was emphasized. While China's foreign ministry said that the close contact between the two countries was to promote the development and revitalization of each other and jointly respond to the challenges brought about by turbulent and changing world. Both sides also exchanged views on the Korean Peninsula and the Iranian nuclear issue as well. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is also on a visit to China. The tour comes amid rising tensions over Taiwan and growing concerns about China's military ambitions in the Indo-Pacific. DD India's Abhishek Bose gets us more in this report.
Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is on a 6-day visit to China. His visit comes at a time of heightened regional tensions, especially over China's broad territorial claims in the South China Sea. Speaking to the media in Shanghai on Sunday, Prime Minister Albanese reaffirmed Australia's long-standing position on Taiwan. He said Australia supports the status quo.
I think it's important that we have a consistent position, which Australia has had for a long period of time. We support the status quo. When it comes to Taiwan, we don't support any unilateral action there. We have a clear position and we have been consistent about that. What's important when it comes to international relationships is that you have a stable, orderly, coherent position going forward. Australia does. We want peace and security in our region. We don't want any change to the status quo.
Relations between Australia and China have seen many ups and downs over the past decade, with tensions often fueled by national security concerns and conflicting interests across the vast Pacific region. Adding to the complexity, Australia's Defence Industry Minister Pat Conroy has clarified that Australia will not make any advance commitment to send troops in the event of a conflict.
Decision to commit Australian troops to a conflict will be made by the government of the day. Not in advance, but by the government of the day, and that's our position, and it's been long established.
His comments follow reports that the Pentagon has asked Australia to clarify its role in a possible conflict with China over Taiwan. Though Australia expressed concerns over China's growing military power, including its nuclear and conventional capabilities, it supports a stable Indo-Pacific region where no single country holds dominance. Meanwhile, Australia's largest joint military exercise with the United States, known as Talisman Sabre, began on Sunday in Sydney Harbour. It involves 40,000 troops from 19 countries, including Japan, South Korea, India, the UK, France, and Canada. The exercises will stretch across thousands of kilometers from Christmas Island in the Indian Ocean to the Coral Sea of Australia's east coast. Australian officials said the Chinese Navy may be watching the drills as it has done in previous years.
I fully expect that the People's Republic of China will want to come and observe the activities that occur as part of Exercise Talisman Sabre. They've made a habit of that over preceding iterations of the exercise. There is no sign yet.
At the same time, Taiwan has begun deploying some of its most advanced weapons. Ahead of live fire drills, 2 armored trucks carrying HIMARS, high-mobility artillery rocket systems, were seen moving through the city of Taichung on the central coast. In recent years, China has stepped up its military activities near Taiwan, including large-scale drills and frequent patrols by its Navy and Air Force. Japan has also spoken out, strongly criticizing China's military actions near Taiwan. Tokyo called the drills incompatible with peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. As tensions rise, the South China Sea remains a flashpoint for competing interests, where stability and open access are increasingly at risk. Abhishek Bose for DD India.
A small plane has crashed at the airport on England's southeast coast on Sunday. It was unclear how many people were on the plane. The East of England Ambulance Service said it had sent 4 ambulances and other response vehicles. British media said that it was a medical transport jet equipped with medical systems for transporting patients. London Southern Airport in Essex said that it has closed operations until further notice. All flights to and from the airport have been cancelled, while police, emergency services and air accident investigators are attending the incident. In Bolivia, Evo Morales led a meeting on Saturday with social movements aligned with his cause to demand the Supreme Electoral Tribunal approve his candidacy for the upcoming elections on August 17th. The gathering took place in the region of Cochabamba, a stronghold of cocoa producers, amid strict security, preventing access without passing through multiple checkpoints guarded by his supporters. Morales' new political organization, Evo Pueblo, lacks legal recognition, as does the Panball Party, with which he seeks to register for the elections. In June, Bolivia's Supreme Electoral Court disqualified Evo Morales for the elections. The court cited that the deadline for the candidacy submissions had passed. In Spain, violent clashes erupted between far-right groups, local residents and North African migrants on Saturday, following an attack on an elderly man by unknown assailants earlier in the week. Anti-migrant groups also clashed with the right police in a town in southeastern region. They hurled glass bottles and objects at right police, who fired rubber bullets. Tensions flared up between local residents and migrants after the elderly man was attacked in the street on Wednesday, causing injuries from which he is recovering at home. The reasons behind the assault are unclear and no one has been arrested. Nigeria's former president, Muhammadu Buhari, died in London on Sunday. He led Africa's most populous country from 2015 to 2023. Buhari, 82 years of age, earned a devoted following for his brand of anti-corruption conviction politics. He was the first one to lead the country as a military ruler after a coup in the 1980s. He referred to himself as a converted Democrat and swapped his military uniform for kaftans and prayer caps. Buhari defeated Goodluck Jonathan in 2015 in what was judged to be Nigeria's fairest election till date. Many hoped the retired Major General would crack down on armed groups, just as he had as the country's military head of state. Buhari took power as Nigeria was reeling from jihadist group Boko Haram's kidnapping of nearly 300 schoolgirls from the northeastern town of Chibok. Nigerians on Sunday reflected on the death of their former president.
For the bereaved, the family at large, at least my condolence to them. So Buhari has played his own part. No one is a saint, you understand? We are missing Buhari now when the president isn't in place. So I can still tell you for the truth, we are still missing Buhari.
Adulthood, I can never say a good thing or anything, and I cannot even waste my prayer on Buhari, because I cannot say anything or maybe remember anything that this man has done during his tenure. It was worse.
You're watching DD India News. I'll be heading for a short break, but after the break, wildfires continue to wreak havoc and appalling devastation across different parts of Europe. Stay with us for the details. Stay with us as we tell you about the biggest celebration of freedom, power of people and democracy in France, the Bastille Day celebrations. And in updates from the world of business, we tell you why European Commission has delayed retaliatory tariffs against the US until early August.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News. Let's continue getting you more updates. Britain on Sunday announced a $675 million fund intended to help up to 200,000 vulnerable children. The Better Futures Fund aims to provide support for struggling families and give children access to better education and a safe home over the next 10 years. The Finance Ministry said it planned to raise another £500 million from the local government, social investors and philanthropists. The government is also considering whether to abolish a two-child limit on welfare payments to parents as it reassesses several unpopular policies to reverse a slide in its poll ratings. Giselle Pellicourt, who became a feminist icon by publicly testifying over the mass rapes she endured, was among the 589 people awarded France's top civic honor on Sunday. 72-year-old Pellicourt was named Knight of the Legion of Honor. She earned international tributes for her courage in testifying at a trial in 2024 against her former husband, who drugged her and arranged for her to be raped by dozens of men over a decade. She has since been named on the list of the world's most influential people by international media, and the case helped force a change in France's rape law. But Pellicourt has remained silent since the trial. Her lawyer says she is concentrating on writing a book giving her side of the mass rape story, which is to be released in 2026. The Dragon Bravo fire on the Grand Canyon's North Rim has prompted evacuation of residents and visitors as firefighters work to contain the blaze and conduct a safety assessment following a chlorine gas leak. According to the state and federal officials, two wildfires burning near the Grand Canyon's North Rim have scorched over 45,000 acres of dry brush and vegetation, prompting widespread evacuations across the Kaibab National Forest and extending north towards the Utah border. Park officials said the fire has damaged or destroyed dozens of structures within the Grand Canyon, including the historic Grand Canyon Lodge at the North Rim, as well as it will remain closed to the visitors for the rest of the 2025 season. A new wildfire broke out in western Turkey on Sunday, less than 2 weeks after widespread blazes in the region were contained. Hundreds of wildfires have broken out across Turkey this summer, forcing some 50,000 people to temporarily evacuate their homes across the country. Several of the blazes were in the Asian coastal province of Izmir, where 2 people were killed in July. 4 planes, 13 helicopters and 34 fire trucks were battling the flames to contain the new fire in a forest in the Ulla district of Izmir as soon as possible. The local forestry authority said this earlier on Sunday. In Syria's west, wildfires which have burned vast tracts of forest and farmland and forced evacuations had been brought under control after 10 days. Syria's civil defense agency in a statement said that with the spread of the fires halted and the fire hotspots brought under control on all fronts on Saturday, the teams on the ground began working to cool down the affected areas while monitoring any signs of reignition on Sunday. The blazes in the coastal province of Latakia broke out amid an intense heat wave across the region. The UN humanitarian agency said the fire destroyed about 100 square kilometers of forest and farmland. As the fires raged, Syrian emergency workers faced tough conditions, including high temperatures, strong winds, rugged mountain terrain, and the danger of explosive water remnants. All of this comes in a country worn down by years of conflict and economic crisis. In New Zealand, some schools and roads remained shut on Monday as Tasman and Nelson regions started cleaning up after heavy rains over the weekend caused flooding, landslides and forced evacuations. The regions in the north of New Zealand's South Island were hit by significant rainfall for the second time in as many weeks. Local emergency authorities said the teams had assessed 417 properties in flood-affected areas on Sunday and planned to visit a further 413 properties on Monday. The Nelson-Tasman region remains under a state of emergency with evacuations, widespread flooding, slips, power cuts, and pleas to conserve water. France celebrates Bastille Day on July 14th. It is not just about parades and national holiday, it is a celebration of freedom, the power of the people and democracy. Let's see why July 14th is called the heart of the French Republic. Our correspondent Rohini Gosavi gets us this report.
1789, the day of the rise of democracy in France. The people of the France stood up against monarchy that had ruled for more than 1,000 years. This was the time when ordinary people were suffering from high taxes, hunger and unfair treatment, while King Louis XVI and nobles were living in great luxury. This gap between the rich and the poor led to growing anger among French people. The storming of the Bastille became a key moment in history.
I'm here at Place de la Bastille, a powerful symbol of France's fight for freedom. It was right here people rose up against royal power. They brought down the powerhouse of the king and sparked the revolution that reshaped the nation.
On July 14, 1789, people in Paris marched to the Bastille, a prison that showed a king's total control. They broke the wall, freed few prisoners and took the weapons. This action showed that they were ready to fight back. The storming of the Bastille began the French Revolution, which ended the monarchy and brought ideas of liberty, equality and fraternity. These values still define the spirit of French Republic.
More than 200 years ago, French people said enough to injustice. They refused to live in poverty and follow unfair rules. They wanted equal rights and fair chance to live with dignity. This brave stand of ordinary people started a revolution.
The French Revolution changed the country forever. The monarchy was overthrown and France became a republic where the people had a voice. The rise of democracy brought new hope with promises of freedom, equality and justice for all.
This revolution was not just about breaking down the walls. It was about building a new system where every citizen mattered. These values laid the foundation for fair and free societies around the world.
In 1880, July 14 was declared a national holiday to remember the Bastille and all that it stood for. The day celebrates not just the fall of the Bastille, but also the ideals of democracy and freedom that the revolution brought. Every year, people in France and around the world honor this day as a symbol of courage and hope for the better future. This is Rohini Gosavi in Paris for DD India.
Let's take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. Elvis Evolution, opening in London on July 17th, is an immersive experience that showcases key moments of Elvis Presley's life, featuring AI-enhanced performances, live actors and musicians. It also highlights his early years and rise to fame. The experience explores Elvis's gospel influences and childhood friendships, providing a fresh view of lesser known parts of his life. To mark Live 8's 40th anniversary, musicians from the iconic 1985 transatlantic concert that raised millions for famine relief in Ethiopia reunited in London for a special performance of Just for One Day. Among those present were Bob Geldof, Midge, Queen's Brian May, Nick Kershaw and Vanessa Williams. On July 13, 1985, Live 8, a global charity concert held at Wembley and JFK Stadium, raised $100 million and was watched by 1.5 billion people. The cavernas do Pirocao in Brazil have been officially added to UNESCO's World Heritage List. Situated in the northern part of Minas Gerais, the Pirocao Caves National Park spans over 56,500 hectares and is home to massive caves, some stretching as long as 6 kilometers. UNESCO has recognized these vast underground formations as among the largest in the world. A newly opened archaeological site associated with the ancient Carol civilization opens its doors to visitors in Peru after 8 years of study and restoration work. As per researchers, the site known as Penico was a meeting point for the trade between the first human communities on the Pacific coast and those from Andes and Amazon regions. Penico was a hilly landscape before exploration work began in 2017. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said on Sunday that the European Union will pause its countermeasures against the United States until early August, and the bloc will continue to prepare response options. Her statement follows the US President Donald Trump's announcement on Saturday that starting from August 1st, a 30% tariff will be imposed on goods imported from the EU and Mexico. Currently, the US imposes a 50% tariff on EU steel and aluminum products, a 25% tariff on the automotive sector and a baseline tariff of 10% on almost all other goods. According to the previously announced plan, the EU's first round of retaliatory tariffs on the US goods was scheduled to take effect on Monday. Trump's decision to impose 30% tariffs on EU exports has triggered widespread opposition from the European leaders. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz on Sunday said that he will work intensively with French President Emmanuel Macron and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen to resolve the escalating trade war with the US. Talking to German broadcaster ARD, Merz said that the German economy would be hit hard by the tariffs, and he was doing his best to make sure that US tariffs of 30% were not imposed.
August. Over the weekend, I discussed this intensively with Macron, Ursula von der Leyen, and on Friday with the American president. We want to use this time now, the next 2.5 weeks until August 1st, to reach a solution, and I am truly committed to doing so.
Wirklich intensiv.
The European Union and Indonesia reached a political agreement to move forward with a free trade deal on Sunday. At a joint press conference with Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen stated that the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, that is CEPA trade deal, will open up more opportunities in key industries like agriculture and automotive, while Indonesian President Subianto stated that Europe holds significant importance for Indonesia and emphasized on the desire for increased European presence and greater involvement in their economy.
There's a lot of untapped potential in our trade relationship, and therefore this agreement comes at the right time. Because the new agreement will open new markets, it will create more opportunities in key industries. Business active in agriculture, in automotive and in services will massively benefit from it. This agreement will also help strengthen the supply chains of critical raw materials that we need to power the clean and the digital transition.
You're watching DD India News. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, we'll give you all the highlights of India versus England, the third test match, as India needs 135 more runs to win the Lord's Test. In a special report, we look back at how Chandrayaan-3 successfully executed a soft landing on the moon, specifically near the lunar South Pole on this day 2 years back.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar.
Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's turn focus to sports now. In tennis, we'll talk of tennis first. World number one, Jannik won his first Wimbledon title by wearing down Carlos Alcaraz in another high-quality Grand Slam final between the dominant forces of the men's game. Italian champion claimed a 4-6, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 victory at the All-England club, avenging his brutal French Open defeat by Spanish world number 2 just 35 days ago. Sinner, who served a 3-month doping ban earlier this year, has claimed the 4th Grand Slam title of his career and a first major victory not on a hard court. A composed and clinical performance from the top seed ended Alcaraz's 24-match winning streak. Also, Sinner's win stopped 22-year-old Alcaraz from becoming only the 5th man in the Open era to win 3 consecutive Wimbledon titles. Jannik Sinner is the first Italian player to win a Wimbledon singles title. In the FIFA World Cup, Cole Palmer scored twice and fed Joao Pedro for a goal as Chelsea overwhelmed Paris Saint-Germain in the first half and beat the European champions 3-0 in the final. Cole Palmer had almost identical left-footed goals from just inside the penalty area in the 22nd and 30th minutes on Saturday, and then sent a through pass that enabled Pedro to chip goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma in the 43rd for his 3rd goal in the two starts with the Blues. A 23-year-old who joined Chelsea from Manchester City 2 years ago, Palmer scored 18 goals this season. Chelsea had finished 4th in the Premier League and won the 3rd-tier UEFA Conference League, while a heavy favourite who had outscored opponents 16-1, Paris Saint-Germain had been looking to complete a quadruple after winning the Ligue 1, the Coupe de France and its first Champions League title. Nevertheless, the Blues took the world title for the 2nd time after 2021, when it was a 7-team event. On to updates on the Lord's Test between India and England. India's chase of 193 for victory took a dramatic turn late on day 4 on Sunday as England captain Ben Stokes dismissed night watchman Akashdeep off the final ball of the day. The wicket left the visitors wobbling at 58 for 4, still needing 135 runs to win with 6 wickets in hand. Rahul, India's first innings centurion, remained unbeaten on 33 off 47 balls, holding the innings together with a composed knock that included 6 boundaries. Earlier, Washington Sundar produced a superb spell of off-spin, taking significant wickets, leaving hosts' 2nd innings folding for 192, setting India 193 to win the test and take a 2-1 lead in the 5-match series. Chandrayaan-3 successfully executed a soft landing on the moon, specifically near the lunar South Pole, on this day 2 years back. This made India the first nation to land a spacecraft near the moon's South Pole and the 4th country overall to achieve a soft landing on the lunar surface. Let's take a dive down to memory lane and remind us of the historic feat that we all Indians achieved.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, who is here to encourage us, and he is critically looking at the visuals.
जी हाँ, आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि हम लैंडर मॉड्यूल
People are applauding. Let us all wait to hear from the Secretary Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath.
लैंडर मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से सेफली और सॉफ्टली चंद्रमा की सतह पे लैंड हो चुका है। ये हम लोगों के लिए बहुत ही गर्व की बात है।
This was the moment when the dreams of over 1 billion Indians came true, because India achieved what even space giants like US, China and Russia could not. August 23, 2023 became a historic day as India etched its name on the moon. It was the day when Chandrayaan-3 made a successful soft landing on the lunar surface, scripting history. With this, India became the first country in the world to achieve a soft landing on the moon's south pole and joined the elite group of 4 nations to have ever soft landed on the lunar surface. Thanks to the hard work and brilliance of Indian scientists, India reached the south pole of the moon, a place no other country had ever reached before. This success was not just witnessed by ISRO scientists or Indian citizens glued to their TV screens, but also watched live by many countries around the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was attending the BRICS summit, also joined virtually to witness the historic moment and expressed his joy by waving the national flag after the successful landing.
अमृत काल की प्रथम प्रभा में सफलता की ये अमृत वर्षा हुई है। हमने धरती पर संकल्प लिया और चांद पर उसे साकार किया। और हमारे वैज्ञानिक साथियों ने भी कहा, इंडिया इज नाउ ऑन द मून। आज हम अंतरिक्ष में नए भारत की नई उड़ान के साक्षी बने हैं।
The Chandrayaan-3 mission was executed in multiple well-planned phases. It all began on July 14, 2023, when LVM-3M4 rocket lifted off from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh, carrying Chandrayaan-3. After orbiting the Earth in multiple stages on August 1, Chandrayaan-3 used a slingshot maneuver to break away from Earth's orbit and head towards the Moon. On August 5, it entered the Moon orbit. Then on August 6, it changed its orbit for the first time. Further orbit maneuvers on August 9, 14th and 16th brought it even closer to the Moon surface. On August 17, the propulsion module and the lander module separated, with the lander beginning its descent towards the lunar surface. On August 18, the first deboosting operation was performed, which is essentially a slowed down process. Then around midnight on August 19 or 20th, after the second deboosting, the Vikram lander carrying the Pragyan rover reached its final and closest orbit to the Moon. On August 23, after the successful soft landing, the rover descended onto the Moon surface using one of the lander's side panels, which unfolded to act as a ramp. After the landing, all the eyes were on the images coming from the Moon. The wait ended when Chandrayaan sent back its first pictures from the south pole of the Moon, marking yet another proud moment for India. Now let's understand what the landing module of Chandrayaan-3 consisted of, namely the Vikram lander and the Pragyan rover, and what their roles were. Starting with the Vikram lander, an extremely critical part of the Chandrayaan-3, named in the honor of Dr. Vikram A. Sarabhai, the father of India's space program. The lander weighed 1,749 kilograms, was designated to the land safely on the Moon. The Vikram lander carried 4 payloads, in which Rambha LP was executed to study the density, quantity and the variation of plasma particles coming from the Sun to the lunar surface. Second is CHAS-TE, Chandra's Surface Thermophysical Experiment. It was used to measure Moon's temperature and thermal properties. Then third is ILSA, that is Instrument for Lunar Seismic Activity. It was used to monitor seismic activity near the landing site. And the fourth is Laser Retro Reflector Array, that is used to study the dynamics of the Moon. The second key component of Chandrayaan-3 was the 26 kg Pragyan rover, a 6-wheel robotic vehicle loaded with scientific instruments designed to gather data from the lunar surface and analyze the chemical composition of lunar soil and rocks. It carried 2 payloads. First is APXS, that is Alpha Particle X-ray Spectrometer. It was designed to study the basic composition of the moon's surface and understand its mineral makeup. Second is LIBS, that is laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy. It was used to determine the presence of elements like magnesium, aluminium, and more in lunar rocks and soil. The successful landing of Chandrayaan-3 was special in many ways, and it will pave the way for numerous lunar researchers in the future and give India a new identity in the field of space exploration. This achievement also highlighted a very simple yet powerful thought, that no matter how many challenges comes your way, if you have the willpower and determination to succeed, no force in the world can stop you, whether it is in space or any other field.
All right, after that special report on inspiration, we'll end this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.